I did my presentation and research paper on the media effects on middle school adolescents. And I did it using the main focus being from the internet, TV, radio, and a magazine. Before researching it, I knew that media had played a big effect on middle schoolers because I knew it played a big effect on me, now and as I was growing up. So when you think about media effects in correlation with middle schoolers, what do you guys think of? Is there anything you guys think of? Like when you were younger, what would you do when you came home from school, usually right away? Turn on the TV. And that's when we were younger. And not to date ourselves or anything, but now that we're older, kids are coming home now and they're going on the internet younger. And now that we even think about it, what did we do in college before Facebook? And MySpace?
I have no idea.
You know, networks to meet friends. That's such a big part of our lives, but it's even happening younger for them. It's more of a part of their lives. And it's, advertisers are using things in a way because now they're selling them to a younger crowd. They're using the appeal to get younger people. And they know that, so they're using it to their advantage. These are just some media images I came across when I was doing research and looking for things. Britney Spears, for instance, I know that she's a big person in the media nowadays that it's often related to. And it's sad because it's not just within celebrity music and things. Now it's on CNN. If you go on there, oh, Brit and K-Fed, you know, she can't drive her kids anymore. But if you'll notice, many years ago when Britney just started, here she's wearing sort of like a normal tank top, looks a lot younger. But as years progressed and she got deeper into her career and media even affected her and her surroundings, look at her now. She's barely dressed, you know, and people see this, younger children see this, just walking through the supermarket, walking anywhere. And if you can look close enough, look how young this girl's face is. But yet she's aged by what she's done to herself. And here, look at this little girl, and she's got her underwear sticking out. I know a while back there was a big fight going on in lawsuits within Abercrombie & Fitch because, you know, they have the younger label. They were selling thongs that were marketed to 7 to 12-year-old female girls. Girls, because at that time, that's what they are, you know? And then there was a whole big thing about models being too thin and how finally some people wouldn't use models if they weren't over 100 pounds. And for instance, look at this. But yet, look at, she is on this runway, and they've hired her for her appearance, for what she looks like. So in her eyes, in other people's eyes, the people who hired her, she is still valuable. And this is why she probably continues to do what she does to herself. And then even for males, media affects them as well. For instance, here's a men's fitness magazine. Not only is it men's fitness that showcases models and bodybuilders, things of that nature, but I thought this was a perfect example because on this one it's a media image. He's a musician who often, yeah, he'll sing his slow jams and his violent music as well, but in here he's showcasing his body. It says Muscle Up with LL Cool J, his 10 tips to build a big screen body. So if you do this, this is what you're going to look like. And he's on the cover of the magazine, so that's what you want to do. So the media nowadays is not only appealing to women, it's appealing to girls and boys alike, and it's starting from a younger age. So they have this ideal from a young age of what they're supposed to look like, of what's acceptable and what's desired in society. Because you will never see a quote-unquote normal, average-sized person in an advertisement ad. And I'm sure you guys have all remember those Dove ads where they use normal-sized women. Do you guys remember the scrutiny around that? And how people were mad about that because they were finally using a normal-sized body, different colors, different shapes, and that was beautiful? That was one rare advertisement compared to all of these. And then they have the different types of music genres and things, such as Kurt Cobain, and as we all know, he's committed suicide, but he's still very much known for his music, and people still very much feed into that, and for who he was and the music that he represented. And as a way, it's viewed that he died for his music, for who he was. And then Anna Nicole Smith as well, Playmate of the Year. Here she is, gorgeous as can be, in this beautiful magazine. She died as well. And then alcohol is something that also, throughout this presentation you'll see, plays into the media effects, as well as another suicide and cutting. So these are just some images to kind of get your mind focused on to what's later going to be presented. And here's actually some lyrics from some, I just Googled music to see what would come up. These are some lyrics that were found actually for the Columbine. When they read into it, when they found out what the boys were listening to, This is some music. Got one now is dead. Got another that makes two. Got one more that is three. Don't cross me no more or you're dead. That's a Radiohead song. And You're My Obsession, I Love You to the Bones, and Anorexia Life Like an Anorexic Life. That's by Silverchair, Anna's song. I had the clip, but I didn't know how to attach it. This whole song, it's a very melodramatic song, and it's just him singing about anorexia the whole time, and it's a male. He was very anorexic, and he's singing about it. Body image is something that's very much played into in the media because its appearance is what you see. You see a magazine, first you see who's on it, and then you see the subcaptions. A commercial, they'll often at times use a naked woman or a half-naked man to sell a product such as soap. But first they appeal to the aesthetic value. You're going to see their pictures first. So, according to the authors of The Effects of Gender and Family, Friend, and Media Influences on Eating Behaviors and Body Image During Adolescence, the onset of puberty and numerous social context changes during early adolescence may set the stage for increased awareness among male and female adolescents of body image and concerns about weight and masculinity. So this is appealing to them at such a young age that it's setting the stage for how the rest of their puberty is going to go. They're seeing what they're supposed to be, the ideal of which they're supposed to conform to. And this is set at such a young time for them that right off the bat they have nothing to do but be concerned with how they're looking, how they're appearing, and how they're appealing to people. Because this is what's appealing to them. The thin ideal is so furiously presented within the media. It's around you. Anytime you go. It's impossible to escape pictures of what this ideal is. And because adolescents are at a time where they are changing physically, mentally, and emotionally, they're trying to physically fix themselves to fit this ideal, but at that same time, little do they know they're like messing with themselves mentally and emotionally. Because physically you're trying to do something. Mentally you're psyching yourself out. I can do this, I can look like this body. And then emotionally, you're screwing yourself up. Because you want this so badly. You know what you want. And you mentally, yes, I can do this, I can do this. And you're trying so many things and you're doing it and you're doing it. And how come I can't look like this person? Because there's about 10% of these models that this is the way they were born. Majority of people, this is not how you look. This is not your body frame and this is not how you're supposed to look. But yet you're doing all of these things, going through all these processes to conform to this image when it's just not you. In various forms, the mass media transmit messages to adolescents regarding the desirability and undesirability of physical attributes. Through so many messages, they're telling you what's desirable in today's society and what's not so desirable, quote unquote, i.e. dub ads. So what happens when these ideals are unattainable? The students and adolescents will try and try and try to conform to this body because you know when you're young, all you want to do is fit in. Even if you're born to stand out, you want to fit in. You want to conform and you want to look like these people. In early adolescence, girls who look to magazines and advertising as important modes of defining and attaining the ideal body are more likely to experience body dissatisfaction due to the obvious discrepancy between their actual body size and the ideal depicted in the media. This is just an ideal. I mean, it's not made for everybody. But people, especially at that age, they don't realize it. They don't have the mind capacity to realize that these are models that are sitting for 3 hours, they're prepped, they have personal trainers, if they eat at all. They have their own ways to do it. It's not for everybody, but adolescents don't realize that. Once the body fades, once adolescents see that they are unable to obtain the perfect ideal body, their sense of self and self-esteem plunges, which often leaves individuals to resort to other means and practices that will help them reach this desired standard of perfection or beauty. Once they try to conform as much as they can with body image and they see that's not working, they're going to go to other means. This often at times segues into sexual behavior. Since they can't find what they want throughout a certain body image, they're going to find somebody who they can appeal to, and they're going to use sexual behavior. Adolescents often lack self-esteem due to other areas of their lives, and therefore are looking for acceptance and approval through sexual relations. Granted, a lot of times these sexual relationships are based just on sex, but this person is feeling like they're wanted, they're accepted. And so that's what they're looking for. They're looking for their self. They're looking for their identity. And that's what this person wants. This person wants me so bad. But in reality, oftentimes they're just in it for sexual pleasures. In regards to sexual media messages, television has received the most research attention. Even though magazines, music, and movies become increasingly important sources of information about sex and ways to be as teens grow older. Where are students turning for information regarding their sexuality and sexual endeavors? Does anyone know? The media. The friends, exactly. I'm glad you said that, Ingrid. Thank you. A lot of adolescents will turn to their peers for their peers' opinions. And if they don't like what they hear, they're going to go to the media.
Older kids, too.
Older kids, exactly. Their peers are older kids. And just think, though, in adolescence, if you don't hear what you want to hear, you're going to go somewhere else, right? But a lot of times, unfortunately, this other person is not their parents, it's not their guardians. Adolescents are in such an awkward stage in their life. A lot of times they're rebelling. They don't want to go to their parents. They don't want to ask them questions about this. I have many adolescent students are in an awkward stage of life. Some are open to conversing with their parents on an array of topics, while some others shudder at the absolute idea of it. They would rather do anything than talk to their parents because, oh my God, I can't. So they're going to go to the media. You know why? Because the media is always there. The media always has something to offer, whether it be 50 ways to get the perfect guy or 50 ways to make him sigh. It's always 50 ways, but it's always a new topic, a different month. But you know why? Because obviously these are the experts. And that's the way adolescents see it. Whether it be Cosmo, and now I said it's moving to CNN, which one time you used to be able to go to for a reliable, important world news. Turn on the TV, what's the first thing you see? The internet, first thing you see, the AOL pops up, AOL News. It's practically impossible to get away from this. You cannot shun someone from this in this world, the society that we have shaped into. And unfortunately, the kids are just evolving with it. When questions arise and there is no one to go to, adolescents will turn to different media outlets to locate what they are seeking. In an article I read, Sexy Media Matter, Exposure to Sexual Content in Music, Movies, and Television, the authors state that one of the strongest protective factors against early sexual behavior was clear parental communication about sex. How often does that happen? I know I never went to my parents. I never had the stereotypical birds and the bees, partridge families talk. I had an older sibling, I had friends, and I hate to say it because here I am talking about this, but I did the same thing. But I honestly think it's affecting adolescents differently than it's affected us because they're in a technological world now. Whereas we just went home to watch the TV, they get in the car from school, they listen to the radio, they go home, they turn on the TV as they're chatting on the internet, instant messenger. That's what it's all about. Asking our students, hey, how was your day, has stopped because they're checking the internet, they're busy. We removed that question from them because we see that they're busy with other things and we're respecting them. Little do we know that we're injuring them because we ourselves are removing ourselves from that situation. A completed study on the topic of sexual content in the media found that adolescents who watched television shows with more sexual content were more likely than those who saw fewer shows with sexual content to have engaged in more advanced sexual behavior as well as sexual intercourse. I believe you touched on this. It's impossible. You cannot shun. Unless you literally live in a world where you don't allow your child to watch TV, the child is homeschooled, you don't bring in any sort of paper or media acid into your home. It's impossible. And then so to read this, to say that adolescents who watch television with more sexual content are more likely to become active in this, that's scary because it's all around us, everywhere. Adolescents often reach out to media to help them with their everyday instances within their personal lives. They're searching for their identity, who they are, and what they want to be. Therefore, in relation to the media, they interact and find self in certain media images. They're able to identify with certain messages about love, sex, and relationships. They're able to gain knowledge on particular topics that they are unable to learn about in home, school, and from their friends. Once an adolescent is able to find someone or something they identify with, they are hooked. They continually search for more, and they continually utilize the same sources. And in adolescence growing up, you're looking for yourself. Body image, you're looking for yourself. You're trying, and this is the idea.